Welcome to H2K Infosys. H2K Infosys is a e-verify business based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We provide 100% job-oriented, instructor-led, face-to-face, true live online software training programs. It also includes access to cloud test lab with software tools. We provide live project for you to work on. We also provide assistance with mock interviews, resume preparation and review, and job placement assistance. H2K Infosys is trusted by so many students across the world. H2K Infosys provides world-class services in IT training with real-time project work for corporates and individuals, special IT training for MS students in the United States, software design, development, QA manual and automation, performance testing and maintenance, IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance, and tech support.
Okay. Array basically stores multiple values, the group of elements. So there are it basically contains the values of same data type, and also array basically contains single dimension or multi-dimensional arrays. Single dimensional arrays like it's just one row, and the multi-dimensional is row and column. Like you can store by row and column. Okay, on this particular is something like similar to the cell concept, right? Similar to your Excel. So where you want to store the row and column, you can refer that particular value by row and column. So for example, if you look at here, single dimensional arrays, you can simply say dim my array of 3. That means you're going to store there are 3 elements into this array. Whereas here you're going to say, okay, I want to store 6 from 8. This is a multi-dimensional array, 6 rows and 8 columns. That way you can store multiple values into an array. So in order to store an array, just you can simply say here, say for example, A is equal to array of, so I want to store some numbers, right? 5, 7, 8. Okay, this way just you can, this is an array variable. A is an array variable. Or you can say my array, whatever it is. Okay, this is a array variable, this is a normal variable. So how you can distinguish which one is a array variable or which one is a ordinary variable? You can say there is array function. So for example, if you look at same as the box and is array, right? Is array is a function to check is it an array variable or it's a regular variable. So now we're going to say this is, right? And now we're going to, so let's run this. So now it says it is true, right? Because it's going to check is this a array variable. Yes. So my array is an array. That's what it says is true. Whereas now, if you say instead of my array, just you want to check the other one, the X is a regular variable, right? So now let's look at. So the first one is array variable, and the second one it says it's false because it's the X is a regular variable. So that way it says no, it's not an array. So that way you can check in your scripts, like you got some variable, just you want to see whether it's a regular variable or it's an array variable, you can use isArray function. And also you can retrieve the values always by index. Okay, the array values, you can retrieve the values of an array using the index. So how we are going to retrieve the value, say my array of 0. So 0, the index starts with 0, and the value of index 0, that is the first element. So if you want to read the elements, you can use the index value. And then say first element, second element, third element, and so on using the index. So this retrieves the first element from your array, and this retrieves the second element from an array. Okay, so let me comment these things. Okay, so now it says, okay, the first element is 5 from your array, and the second element is 7. So that way you can retrieve the values using the index. Okay, so now because you stored some of the elements into this array, right? So later point of time, okay, there are 3 elements, but I want to store more elements into that array. I want to store more elements into the same array. Then what you do, so I'm going to, you can also say redeem, because you want to store more elements into the same array, right? So I'm going to say redeem, and I want to, because there are 3 elements that's already there, I want to store more. Okay, I want to extend this array to 7 elements. There are 3 elements already in this array. I want to store more into the same array. So you say redeem. Redeem is you're going to redimension it to store some more values, to store some more elements into the same array. So I'm going to say redeem and my array, and then okay, now in total I want to store 7 elements. And then now let's say display this. Okay, after I redeem, this is basically redimensioning, right? So you declare that array to store more elements. Initially, this is the size of array, and there are 3 elements. Now, let's see. This is before you redimension, and this is after redimension. So now it says the first element and the second element is 7, and you did redimension. Then now it says after you redimension, say my array of 0, it says nothing. Even the second element is nothing. That is what actually you have to be careful whenever you do redimension. Basically, all your existing data is gone when you say redimension, because you want to store more elements later part of your script. You realize, oh my gosh, I have some more elements stored into the same array, but the data, whatever the data that is already stored into an array, that's gone. Those elements are gone. So how to preserve the data is using the preserve statement. So whenever you do redimension, you can say preserve. It means, okay, I want to keep my existing data. I don't want to erase the data. Because whatever the elements that are already there in the array, just want to keep the data. That's why you're going to use the preserve statement. So now when you run it, okay, so now it says, okay, the first element is 5, the second element is 7. Even after you redimension also, so it shows the existing data if you use the preserve. Okay, so this is a very important thing. Otherwise, whatever the data that is already there, it's going to overwrite. So use this preserve keyword whenever you do redimension. And also you'll get the size of an array. Like you can get lower subscript and upper subscript using L bound and lower bound and upper bound. So for example here, I want to get the lower bound, right? See, this is box. L bound, and then we're going to say array name. Array name is the argument. So let's say my array. And upper bound. This is basically upper subscript to an array. L bound and U bound. And array name. Okay. So let me comment these lines. Okay. So now I'm going to, okay, so this is what we do before redimension and after redimension. Okay, so let's see whether that L bound and U bound. It's basically lower subscript and upper subscript to an array. Okay, lower subscript is 0 and upper subscript is 2. Okay, basically there are 3 elements. That's why it says 0 to 2. 0, 1, 2. That is the index. And now it says after you redimension, because you redimension the particular array to store 7 elements. So lower subscript is 0 and upper subscript is 7. Okay. So that way you can also get the values, the lower and upper subscript. Basically these are useful. If you want to read all the values one by one, then you can use this lower and upper subscripts. Then you can keep that in the loop to read values one by one. So you can use for loop, whatever it is, and then you can say for I is equal to 0 to say upper subscript of my array. Okay. Then so let's comment this one. Okay, so now we want to read the values one by one. So you can say my array of I. So that sorry. So you're keeping this in the for loop and you want to read the values one by one. Say for I is equal to 0 to U bound upper subscript, and then you're going to read the values one by one. That mismatch. My array is array of 5, 7, 8. So this one, this one is 2. So I is 0. That's weird. I think type mismatch, but when I do copy paste in the debugger, it's going to run. Correct. I don't know why it's giving this mismatch, but it's working when I copy paste that value in the debugger. Rebound of my array I. Anyway, so that's all. Like you can get the upper subscript, and then you can read the values in the loop. And so these are basically like the array functions. So how you declare an array, how you can store elements, and then how you can check these array functions, and also how you can redimension an array using this preserve statement, so that it's going to preserve the existing data. All right. So, do you have any questions? Okay. So the next one is the date functions. So if you go to this quick test personal help, because there are few date functions, so you can work with this date constants. Date function. So here you can add dates, because in some of the applications, say for example, if you look at even this, say this flight application, right? So where you enter after you log in. So here, this date should be always the future date, right? So that's where whenever you mention the test data to your script, so it should be the current date, today's date, or always the future date. So it cannot be the past date. Anyway, you're going to test both the things, right? Okay, you want to enter some past date to see whether the application gives any error messages. And as you enter the future date, then the application has to process the order. So that's where you can always use these date functions. These are also very important thing in the scripts. So you can use the date functions. So if you say message box the date and message box the time, they're all the date and time functions. So that is today's date, and also the time function is going to tell you the date and time. Okay, so this is today's date. and also the next one is going to give you the time. Okay, so if you want to get both the date and time also, then you're going to say now. In the date, time, and both date and time. Okay, so this way you can use these functions, and also the important things here is you can use the date add function. So this is the date functions, and also there is the date add function. This is a very useful thing, and this is where you can add or subtract the dates from today's date. Okay, so for example here, this is what you can do. Maybe just you can also declare a variable, something my date is equal. So date add. So I want to add to today's date, say 1 day, right? And then you can simply say date. So that is going to add to the today's date. And you want to say message box, and then you want to display whatever that date that is stored into this variable. Oh, this should be within the quotes. Okay, so the date should be within the quotes. Okay, so now it says it's going to add 1 day to the current date, to today's date, and then it's going to say 17th July. Okay, so today is 16th July, and now it says 17th July. So that way you can add the date, even you can add month, you can add year. So if you want to add month to today's date, because I want to enter that date here, the future date, maybe whether I'm able to create an order with date as August, or you can also add an year, right? So month is M, and then I want to add one month to today's date. So it says 16th August. Okay. And also going to add year. Year should be 4 numbers. I want to add 1 year. Okay, it says 16 July 2014. Similarly, if you want to go back, then you can do -1. Okay, so that way you can revert back. Okay. So if you say simply 1, then it goes, it's the future, and -1, it is past year and future year, the next year and the previous year. Similarly, the days also, like you can go back, say, okay, I want to revert back to 1 day. Just you can say D-1 to today's date. Similarly, years or the months, you can always go back. Okay. And also, like, you will get the time difference. Okay, the difference function. So you can get, okay, what's the time interval between two dates. So you can use this date difference function, and okay, so this is the thing. Date difference, how many days, or you can count how many months, how many years between two dates. Date difference. Okay, so you're going to use.
So many of our students have given testimonials on how our training programs are. You will find them on kudzu.com and on our website H2KInfosys.com. On our website H2KInfosys.com, you will also find more detailed information on who we are, the courses that we offer, what each course covers. Also, if you're interested in a demo program, please register on our homepage on the left-hand side. Just give us more information about yourself and we will send you a link for a demo class. The demo class is absolutely free. Experience our commitment by just attending an orientation workshop at no cost. Our team of faculty and advisors are here to guide you with the right information. If you still have more questions, please feel free to call us. Call us at 770-777-1269. This is a United States number. If you're calling from the UK, call us at 020-337-17615. You can also email us at training@h2kinfosys.com or h2kinfosys@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our videos. We wish you a great career in information technology.